happened. On June 3rd, Guzman and his friend Marco were at a Galleria mall in Houston, where they allegedly insulted a woman in an elevator. And you could probably see where this is going. She happened to be the fiance of a 30-year-old Marine veteran named Anthony Sanders, and a mother of their 10-month-old baby. So obviously, he didn't like that. So later on, in the parking lot after the incident, Sanders confronted Justin and Marco for insulting his fiance. An argument then broke out, but the Marine veteran humbly walked away and went back to his car to leave with his family. At this point, according to reports, Guzman and Marco, in their own car, brake checked him and positioned their car in front of Sanders to block him from leaving. When Sanders got out to confront them, he was shot 10 times right there in front of his child and partner. So just in case you didn't hear me right, Sanders left the altercation with two scumbags, got in his car with his wife and kid, got blocked from being able to leave the car park, and then had his life taken away in front of his wife and his 10-month-old child. It's honestly astonishing how much of a lowlife you have to be to escalate this situation into that. These dudes could not handle a verbal confrontation with a 30-year-old veteran trying to defend his wife, so they waited until he was with the family and trying to exit the scene to then take his life. There is no words for these guys. And even worse, the victim's mother, Ronielle Sanders, was on the phone with him while the incident took place.
Because we just want justice for our son. Anthony passed away protecting his son and his fiance. That's what he does.
The family of both Anthony's parents are Army veterans. He was a Marine, and he was gunned down in a parking garage over a petty argument. This is just sickening. This guy was just trying to protect his family, and he gets his life ripped away from him over basically nothing. But this is where the story continues and becomes even more infuriating, and the main reason I decided to cover this. Because after the alleged crime, Guzman, I guess, just went back to his normal life. So I guess as soon as this crime made the headlines, he opened his TikTok app, and then he essentially Fortnite danced and overlaid the headline of his crime behind him to some, generic music. So alongside of just being absolutely vile in so many ways, this is straight up Hall of Fame stupidity. This is hands down one of the dumbest things you can possibly do. I guess that comes after the thing he actually did. That's the dumbest thing you can do. This is a strong runner-up for things that are stupid after you've done something incredibly stupid. So this guy allegedly took someone's life and then decided it was a great time to get some attention on TikTok for it. Because apparently that's where the generation is today. We're probably aware that the culture of, drill rappers exposing their crimes in songs, that's sadly been happening for a while. But with the context we have now, this is a TikTok dance. And obviously we're aware of various people snitching on themselves in raps or so on and so on, but now they're doing it in TikTok dances. Oh boy, the future is getting more dystopian as we speak. As of recording this video, that video has since been removed, but if that's not the most damning piece of evidence to introduce into a criminal case, I don't know what it is. With social media being the key evidence in this case, I can guarantee that Justin's entire internet presence is going to be brought up in trial. And from doing research on this, we actually found out that he had over 100,000 followers on this now removed TikTok account. I mean, just imagine being in court and they roll out one of these bad boys, the refrigerator television on the stand that wheels, because for some reason they still do that to this day. And then they just play this TikTok video of him doing that in front of the jury. And this happened in Texas. So Texas is clearly a F around and find out state, because you're definitely going to find out there. According to the reports given by the police, Sanders' fiance said that he was there in the mall to pick her up from work. Then, when she got into the elevator to leave, Justin and Marco were inside it. Apparently, they asked for a question, which she then ignored. And, if you're a woman alone in the elevator with two men, that's a completely rational response. And while Justin and Marco, being remarkably insecure, I guess, didn't like that one bit. And allegedly, they called her a stupid, ugly bee, which, perfectly backs up my previous statement. The fiance then told Sanders what happened, and he drove around the parking lot until he found Justin and Marco. Obviously, this is where he decides to confront them, has a brief discussion, and then everyone gets back into their cars. And while Sanders wants to leave, well, we know that Justin and Marco didn't want to allow that. Initially, Guzman and Sinan were detained, but later released as the investigation progressed and warrants were issued. Both men turned themselves in, with Justin even showing up to turn himself in an Uber, which is kind of understandable, because why would everyone want to volunteer to take that dude to jail? Justin was being held on a $750,000 bond, but that's since changed. Originally, the state only requested a $150,000 bail for Justin, with Justin's attorneys wanting a $75,000 bail. Justin's lawyers then claimed the bail of $750,000 set by the judge was set too high, and that Justin couldn't possibly afford it. So according to the defense, the judge was holding Justin hostage.
The stage was set for Guzman's hearing based on the filing of the application of the writ of habeas corpus